What is going on, good people? All right, so we are now at the beginning of August, almost done with the fourth quarter, and we want to talk about something. If you are noticing that your lawn is thinning out and it just continues to get a little thinner and a little thinner as the weeks progress into the summer, this video is going to be for you. As we talk about that, we're going to call it Summer Canopy Decline. So we're going to get into this video and talk to you about that and show you what we're working with right back here. Whew, we're still looking good though for August. We almost there, baby. Almost there. Let's go. What is summer canopy decline? So that is going to be defined as the decline in your turf due to the increased canopy or shade that your turf is experiencing. So as the season progresses, we know that the tree canopy, it becomes full, it becomes lush, which is great for the shade, but also that is a downside when trying to grow turf. I'll say it any day, I'd rather grow turf in full sun with irrigation than to try to grow it in the shade. There's just a number of challenges that come along with growing turf in the shade. So that is what we mean when we say summer canopy decline. The turf will experience this if it is not getting enough sunlight. All right, so when we're talking about how much sunlight does a lawn actually need, depending on the grass type, this is going to vary, but typically the lawn needs about 6 hours or more of direct sunlight to perform and thrive its best. Given different turf types and different cultivars can withstand a little more or a little less sunlight, that's on average. So there's a difference between direct sunlight and filtered sunlight. There are certain wavelengths in the light spectrum that the plant needs to absorb to be able to complete the photosynthesis process, which then creates the carbohydrates that the plant uses for energy to do all of its processes and thrive. So those wavelengths are the red, orange, and blue wavelength. Typically, when you're coming through the canopy and you're getting that filtered sunlight like we have in the back, those wavelengths are not present. So without those being present, all of those other processes are now lacking, which means the plant is not able to perform at its best. This is one of the areas that is full sun, and the turf just has a different texture than what it does back in the back where it gets less sunlight. So as we get in here and we just take just a stroll in the direct same line, just a little farther back into the canopy, we can just see that there is a significant difference in the thickness and also in the texture of the grass that we're dealing with. It is just not as mature, it's not as hardy or developed as the turf that is over there that gets almost full sun. Grass back here is more wispy. It wants to lay over a lot more, and it just doesn't seem to have the maturity as a full sun turf does. So there is definitely a difference when we start to look at turf that is in the full sun and turf that is in the shade. All right, so right now we're looking at probably one of the thinnest areas in my lawn and one of the areas that is suffering the most from summer canopy decline. But they are holding on and I still have some coverage here. And the good thing is with that coverage, I'll be able to carry it into next season, and it'll also help with the overseeding process. So I won't be seeding into bare ground. I'll be able to hold some moisture here, hold the seeds in place, which will be a benefit. This season I also tried using a PGR, one of the main reasons I wanted to use a PGR, especially back here in my backyard, was to slow the top growth and force a little bit more root growth, and also for the plant to hold more of that energy inside instead of just trying to grow upwards. So that was an attempt, but at the end of the day, nothing is able to substitute sunlight. I've been battling this area for the past 2 years, and I've seen the same results with the things that I've been doing. I am mowing at a lower height of cut back here. For one of the reasons is because of the shade. So I am cutting this at 3 inches, which is one of the recommended heights for shadier areas. And I'm also making sure I am on a good fungicide program back here, because these areas tend to hold moisture. They don't dry out as quickly, which is just a breeding ground for disease when we're getting tons of rain, high humidities, and high temperatures. I am doing everything that I can, but at the end of the day, it just needs more sunlight. So we got to do something about it. All right, so now that you understand some of the issues that come along with summer canopy decline, well, what can you do about it? I got 3 options for you. So the first one is gonna be, you accept it. That's what I've been doing for the past 2 years. I've tried a couple of things, but you just accept it and understand that you're gonna overseed every fall in these areas, and at a certain point in the end of the summer, the lawn is going to thin out and it is going to not look as good as what it did earlier in the summer. Option number 2, you've got to open up the canopy. So you've got to get somebody out, evaluate your canopy and look at it and see if you can open it up and maybe trim back a couple of limbs, or you can go all in and remove the trees that are causing the shade. So option number 3 is going to be, don't force grass to grow where it doesn't want to. So the reason my natural areas along my fence look the way that they do is because grass has never wanted to grow there. So another option is you turn those areas that are struggling into a natural area, and then maybe you plant some shade tolerant plants, you mulch that area in, and don't force grass to grow where it doesn't want to be. So to wrap this one up, sometimes it's not anything that you're doing. It's not any of your cultural practices. It's not your disease or fungicide program. Sometimes the turf just needs more sunlight. And we've talked through some of those things, and I hope this was able to help you. I know I've checked all the boxes in all those other areas, and at the end of the day, I've just got to get it more sunlight. So if you're striving to have those immaculate lawns or gardens, just know we work.